With us, thank you for staying. Let's now talk about the West Africa Media Excellence Awards. It's an initiative by the Media Foundation for West Africa to promote media excellence in the sub-region. Well, WAMECA is a two-part event, a conference and an awards ceremony for journalists. Joining us to talk about that, Kweku Krobi Asante is Programs Officer with the Media Foundation for West Africa. Mr. Asante, a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Good morning, sir.
You can call me Ben, Kweku. Let's start from here. I'd like you to tell us a bit about WAMECA, the West Africa Media Excellence Conference and Awards. What is it all about? Just give us a bit of a background to WAMECA.
Well, thank you very much, Ben, and my regards to your viewers. We realize that the media landscape in West Africa keeps changing year on year because of the rapid changes in technology. With every change in technology comes implications for press freedom, for media practice, for journalism, and its related issues. WAMECA, therefore, was put together so that every year or annually, we bring together media experts, journalists, editors, and all the people in the media work and freedom of expression work, or media rights, if you want, to discuss or analyze the changes in the media landscape and make recommendations on how to improve press freedom, media rights issues, freedom of expression, and journalism. And so every year we choose a theme looking at what is the most trending issues or the most relevant discussions that need to be taken.
Right.
And so this year, for instance, we have media and women empowerment. We want to look at how the media can help improve coverage of women and empowering women in West Africa. Then there is the side of the awards. The awards is also to honor journalists who are doing stories that are improving lives and societies. In recent years, we have seen that the practice of journalism has come under serious limitations and challenges, especially with the coming of COVID and now Russia, Ukraine. But even before that, the unfriendly environment, the authoritarian governments, and all the safety issues against journalists, and threats and deaths and killings and arrests and detentions are all issues that affect journalists. And so in this context, if a journalist is able to produce high quality stories, compelling stories that is driving change in society, we want to honor them, we want to recognize these journalists and say good work and continue to do it. And so we want to inspire media excellence and bring changes to society through journalism.
Interesting basis on which we can start the conversation. We can expatiate on the theme later in the course of the conversation. But tell me, so what has sustained WAMECA, this entire setup, year after year? You keep organizing this. How many years have you done this, by the way?
This is the 6th edition. We started in 2017, and we have been running it through. This is the 6th edition, and we hope to continue. The question was, what has sustained this?
Right.
Essentially, I think our quest to improve media excellence in the region, our quest to improve press freedom, freedom of expression. As much as we have been doing this over the years, I must say we have not been seeing so much improvement even in the freedom of expression and journalism landscape. But that does not deter us. We think that we need to continue to do this to push. On the front of journalism, we see some changes, but still, we feel critical journalism is dying, but that does not hold us back. It's actually our quest to improve these issues in the West Africa media landscape that is driving this conversation. We will continue to do this year upon year, hoping that it will bring significant changes into the media landscape in the region.
Let's get back to the theme you spoke about, media and women empowerment. You started talking about it, but why that focus this year? What has brought us to this point where you're choosing to focus or take your theme as media and women empowerment?
Well, a lot of reasons. Let's start from 1994 or 95, Bergen Conference, that tabled the issue of women empowerment and, drove a lot of changes in there. It's about 24 to 5 years in that line. Coincidentally, this is the 25th anniversary of the Media Foundation for West Africa. We thought that let us revisit the conversation of media using the media as a tool to improve women empowerment. In a recent Global Media Monitoring Project report, which was released in 2020,
Right.
the findings were very significant. Globally, we see an improvement in the coverage of women as sources and subjects of news stories. But when this data is disintegrated in Africa, we see that the situation is actually getting worse. So less women are being covered as sources and subjects of news stories or by the media. And even when the media gets to cover these people, the framing and choices that is given to women is very not encouraging. I mean, we have stereotypes, boxing women, framing them in certain limiting frames and all that. Then there's the other side of the digital gender divide. We have more women in many African countries than men. But when it comes to the internet or the digital spaces, we have more men than women. Women are restrained, are kept back, safety issues on the digital spaces. Then there is the bigger issue of also governance and decision making. Less women are found in our parliament, less women are found in our executive, judiciary, wherever you want to go, where critical decision making is done, less women are found there. This is the reason, or this is what is driving the conversation, or this is why we are moving to discuss media and women empowerment this year.
How can people join this conversation? How do those who may want to participate do so? What are the mechanisms in place?
Well, this is a regional event, and so it's streaming live across all our social media platforms. Facebook will be streaming live, YouTube will be streaming live. There will be live updates on Twitter and all those social media platforms. But of course, if you are in Ghana and you have an invitation or you are interested, you can also reach out to us through info@Media Foundation for West Africa. We can arrange an invitation for you. The event is happening tomorrow at the Alisa Hotel, tomorrow and Thursday for the conference. And then on Saturday, we do the awards.
Tell me, so on social media, how can people connect? Is it Wameka? Is it MFWA? What are the handles that they can use on social media? Do you have any off the top of your head that you can share with us?
Yes. On Twitter, it's at the MFWA,
Okay.
On Facebook, it is the same, at the MFWA. Same for YouTube, Media Foundation for West Africa. Or you can follow our hashtag Wameka 2020, WAMECA 2022. Sorry, 2022, and then you can join. Before maybe I go off, I also want to use this opportunity to comment journalists from multimedia. Year on year, we have journalists doing very critical stories from your media outlet, and it shows from the awards. This year, we had 952 entries coming from all the 16 West African countries in the West Africa region. And year on year, we have journalists from multimedia making the shortlist and even winning the awards. Last year, we have Kwetinati sharing the honors as the West Africa Journalist of the Year with a journalist from Nigeria. This year, he's been shortlisted again with Seth Kwame Boateng and Emmanuel Kwesi Debra from your outlet in Kumasi Lab. And it begs for commendation and praise for the great work you guys are doing.
Right. Since you brought that up, and before you take leave of us, so what can people expect from the event? But also, what are these awards having as an impact on journalism across West Africa? Maybe if you could just share your thoughts on that with us before you take leave of us.
Well, we think that at a time where we feel that critical journalism is dying, you see a lot of journalists either playing tomfoolery, playing around on the media space, or journalists turning into PR outlets, praising government here and there when they're supposed to be holding the government to account on behalf of the citizens. When people who are doing such stories, compelling stories, enterprising stories, are shown up and praised and honored, it serves a purpose where a lot of people begin to say that they have to turn to this form of journalism and improve their work to be recognized and commended as such. And so this is the spirit, this is the idea. that is driving the awards, so to say.
Well, Kweku, we're grateful that you took the time to engage us this morning. And of course, from this front, we can also hope that one of our own will take the gong once more, maybe this time without sharing it with anybody like we saw last year with Kwete Nati. Well, thank you, Kweku, for joining the conversation. That is Kweku Krobi Asante, Programs Officer for the Media Foundation for West Africa. It's all about Wameka, but up next, it's all about you. We take a little breather, and when we turn around, come back here, we're going to be activating the phone lines so you can call. Share your thoughts on all those matters that we've been talking about. I was just taking a look at our Twitter handle on Joy 99.7 FM, and you would note that the dollar to the CD now is pegged at 12 cedis and 60 pesos. There is the pound to the CD at 13 cedis, 40 pesos, and the euro to the CD at 11 cedis, 80 pesos. We've also been talking about those strikes, those industrial actions, if you like, in Kumasi, which has come to a cessation, but then in the Central Business District of Accra and more. What are your thoughts on all of these? Do share with us. We'll be right back.